Well, welcome back to another podcast with Women Impacting the Nation. I am Sue Trombino. I'm the president and founder, and I'm very excited to have Debbie Ferris with us today. And we're going to be talking about kingdom building versus castle building. We talk about that at WIN a lot, and today we're going to
What does it mean?
What does it really mean? So we're very much into working with other people. There's unfortunately in ministries or in different groups, there's a lot of people, unfortunately, that don't want to work together. And I think in order for our country to come to the place where it should be, we really need to work together. And how does that happen? And so we at WIN work with a lot of different ministries and a lot of different groups that are like-minded and that really are about, not about themselves, not what they can do, not who is the president or who's got the most money or anything like that, but it really is about the bigger picture and really coming together and working together. And Debbie is just really a great example of this. We have been working with, not only obviously we're working with WIN, she's part of our team, but she's also been working with Defend Florida, Defend the Union, and then she's also working with Nations in Action. And so I brought Debbie on today to kind of explain, maybe just very briefly, about the three, why you got involved in all three of those different groups. And we don't always have to do, we can, chew gum and walk at the same time. Or we can get involved in different things. But some people just like to get involved in one thing, and that's awesome. But we really, here at WIN, like to kingdom build, not castle build, because it's not about us. It's about working together with others that have different expertise on different areas, because we don't know everything. I don't know everything about one subject. I might be more proficient in one subject, but not in everything. So we like to work together with different groups that are like-minded, but that are on the same page, and it's not about the head honcho or whatever. It's all, we all work together.
Well, I liked coming to being part of WIN before all of this happened because I appreciated what I was learning from Sue and from the group, the talks, the speakers that you had. But personally, I'm like a dog on the bone with the election. I cannot let that go because it's personally injuring. I don't have a life. That can't be happy. So I got involved.
Well, we won't have a country if we don't have good elections,
exactly.
Because then it'll become Venezuela, like where we come from.
Yes,
right?
Venezuela on steroids.
Yes, that's very true.
So I became part of Defending Florida. We rapidly saw that we couldn't do anything on a federal level, but we could ironclad our state. So got involved with that effort, got involved with election security. I don't even call it integrity anymore. Mm-hmm. It's not integrity. There's no integrity. Exactly. We need to secure it. And so I started by writing, and then I got involved with the writing of the bill and redlining that. And that was a full learning curve that I do not wish to repeat. So since then, Defend Florida, we've recruited a lot of people. We're training them. We're deploying them in different efforts. But the election security was still something that gnawed at me. And I knew that the next legislative session was coming up, and I did not want to repeat that experience. There had to be a better way. And then I came across with Nations in Action. And Nations in Action actually had the solution, the expertise on how to advance these things. So
at the legislative level.
At the legislative level, because the founder is an expert lobbyist, very successful lobbyist, who is also an investigator. So she has
and her name is
Maria Zapp.
Yes, and we're going to have her on at one of our WIN Talk radio shows and also one of our podcasts, because it's very important to bring people on that have expertise on this kind of thing.
Yes. And her expertise led her to develop a set of solutions, of kits. And, the great thing about it is that you don't need to know who Maria is, but you need to care about transparency. You need to want a government that's not corrupt, and you want to have a government that is efficient and productive. And these solution tools, if we enact them, will achieve exactly that.
And that's the key, what you just said, Debbie, is if we enact them. A lot of groups have solutions. But unless you get involved, we the people get involved, then it's just really null and void. It's just like, well, it's just another thing. But that's why we at WIN, we talk truth and we take action. Because action, it's even like if you're a Christian, when we at WIN, our foundation is Judeo-Christian. And, we have prayer warriors, and prayer is the foundation of everything. But prayer without action is dead. Faith without action is dead. At some point, you have to get off your knees and do. And we cannot sit and complain amongst each other and sit in our homes and just talk to the same people. We've got to get out and act. And what you have done and what we've been able to do at WIN is bring people in, like Defend Florida, like Nations in Action, and all these other groups that we're doing a Florida Human Life Amendment, but getting involved in a lot of different
initiatives.
That's a great word. Initiatives that we really believe that are the people, the head people, is about our country. They're patriotic. They truly are selfless. And that's what we really want. We want to work with groups that are selfless, that we really come together and work together. And sometimes we have to swallow our pride because we're not always the head honcho. And I surely am not the head honcho. I happen to be the president and founder of WIN, but I'm not the head honcho. I've got all these other gals and guys that keep me in line. And I'm so grateful for that. But it's just exciting to work with different people instead of being, one person that is doing everything and thinks they know everything. And we don't know everything. So we have to be humble enough to learn, to get educated, again, with truth and facts. And then we like to equip. And that's why by bringing you and Debbie with Nations in Action, Defend Florida, we're also equipping because we want to equip people. I think people want to be equipped. They want to know what to do.
Yes.
Right?
Because, we at this point, we have so much investigation, so much information about what is going wrong, but we're paralyzed.
Yes.
And that is not going to serve us well. Those that crossed the Red Sea had to actually pick up their belongings and walk. Those that Jericho fell because people were blowing the trumpets and pounding
and walking around
seven times, being obedient. So that's one of the things that you teach is obedience, but action. And I'm all about action, just saying.
But it's also, this leads us into another segment, which I think I'd love to touch base on this segment when we come back in our next part of our podcast. And it's going to be how do you get involved when there's so much out there, there's so much information. How do you decipher where do I go? And I think we're going to touch on that in our next segment. So, come back and follow us again at womenimpacttheenation.org, and we'll see you in just a few minutes. Yeah.